In this video, we'll be talking about breeding your Siamese fighting fish or betta fish. If you have to sexually mature bettas, whether they're male or female, you can breed them by placing them together in a tank with a bed of fine gravel or sand. And ready to spawn, she will release them one by one into the water, where the male has constructed a bubble nest. And it should have a heater and a filter that is capable of creating a current strong enough to push the eggs into the bubble nest. Most people suggest using a sponge filter for this purpose. You also need to add some plants or decorations that the fish can use to hide and feel secure. Both parents need to be well nourished in order to produce healthy offspring. During this time, it is important not to disturb the tank, as this can stress out the male and cause him to abandon the nest. These foods are high in nutrients and will help the fry grow faster. Once the eggs hatch, the fry will remain in the tank with the parents for about 2 weeks. At this point, they will be big enough to start swimming around and exploring their surroundings. However, it is important not to overfeed them, as this can lead to water pollution and stress for the fish. A good rule of thumb is to feed them small amounts twice a day. Make sure to remove any uneaten food after the breeding is finished. The male will then fertilize the eggs as they are released. This means that the temperature should be between 78 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit. The pH should be between 6.5 and 7.5, and the water should be soft to medium hardness. To achieve this, you can use distilled water or tap water that has been treated with a dechlarator. Just try again in a few weeks. With a little patience, you will eventually get them to breed. With proper care and attention, you can successfully raise a new generation of these beautiful fish. So what you need to do as a fish keeper is simply set up a tank for them to breed in, and they will take care of the rest. It's actually a beautiful thing to watch. The male will often display during the spawning event, flaring his gills and looking very colorful. This will allow them to build a bubble nest and raise their young. However, if you have 2 males, you cannot breed them together because they will fight and kill each other. Bettas are nocturnal, so they sleep during the day and are most active at night. Therefore, it is not necessary to have bright lights in the tank at all times. In fact, it is best to keep the lights off during the day and only turn them on when you are ready to feed the fish. Now back to breeding bettas. Bettas are egg scatterers, meaning that once the female is full of eggs when choosing a tank for breeding, it is best to use one that is at least 10 gallons in size. The water parameters for breeding bettas should be similar to those in their natural habitat. Another important thing to consider is lighting. Feeding is an important part of the breeding process. When the eggs are laid, the male will guard the nest until the eggs hatch. This usually takes about 2 weeks. If you want to increase the chances of the fry surviving, you can add live foods such as daphnia or brine shrimp to the tank. Finally, it is important to remember that not all bettas will breed. Some fish just aren't in the mood sometimes. Don't worry. In conclusion, breeding bettas is a relatively simple process that can be done in a standard aquarium with minimal equipment and experience. So there you have it, a step-by-step guide to breeding your Siamese fighting fish.